Hello, Colleen.
Happy Monday.
Yeah, it's actually a gorgeous, stunning Monday.
It is after last week's, was it one ice storm, 2 snowstorms? I mean, it was a typical Minnesota winter. We just haven't had one of them in such a long time.
So check me out. I got on a plane. My plane took off last Thursday at 2:40, so right before it started. And my plane landed Sunday morning at 5:30 after it had ended again. I mean, I missed it all. I was in Arizona. It was wonderful.
No, I just sort of sat in my living room and watched it.
It
and my snow removal service actually had their shit together and took care of it. And then, okay, if you live, oh, by the way, Great Northern Sexcast, and now we're going to have, and I'm going to tell you, there's a northern part here. This is when I realize that I'm a homeowner and I'm a little giddy about this thing. Minneapolis, I live there, had a snow emergency. But then it snowed in the middle of a snow emergency, which means I live on the even side of the street, which means when they do this, I don't get plowed until last, which means everything is smashed down. You can't move it. It turns into ice, right? Well, they did the snow emergency routes, and they did the even side. And then it snowed, and then it stopped snowing, and then it was time to do the odd side of the street. So it was all beautiful done. I didn't have to have like a foot of snow. I went, oh my God, this is what to make. I mean, I was giddy. I was like, when I realized when they did the snow emergency that this was going to happen, I was just thrilled. I almost did a little dance.
You know what? And unless you've ever dealt with that, you really have no idea what a treat that is.
Yeah, and then, so they did it first, and then they're going to come back, and whatever people have shoved out in the streets from when they're getting rid of the snowbirds and the driveways, they're going to come by and clean that again.
Yes.
Oh my God, and then, so I posted this, and then I realized there were like 5 other women that said, yeah, we thought of the same thing. I said, good, I'm not alone.
No, I mean.
Because those of us who live on the odd side of the street, I mean, there's like it's like 6 feet out from the curb, it's smashed down, it is solid ice now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, we have to go and help my mom up to my house. I won't let her walk it alone.
No. And that's really smart. Yeah. It's really funny how you can, adjust perceptions of things. So yesterday, Carl was cleaning up our driveway and just really he really groomed it because it was a pretty nice day yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was so hot. I was like, oh, I love you so much right now.
I know, it was just wonderful. And I was like, my guy comes over, helps you take some snow off the roof. I've got bad shoulders. So if you think I'm taking a snow rake, lifting it up in my garage and pulling it off. I mean, if I didn't have 2 shoulder surgeries, I'd be able to, but I'm also 5'3", which also makes it difficult to maneuver like a 20-foot snow rake.
Yes.
And I'm assuming, like I said, I don't know anything about hurricanes. I'm going to guess that every place that has weather thing has little things they get giddy over when it happens. Yeah. But this was mine. Ours. This would be ours. Yes. I was thrilled.
Oh, I'm so with you. All right, so what's different? Do we just have a set of lights turned on?
Oh, yeah, I didn't turn on the lights. That's why it's so dark.
I actually kind of like it. I'm like, wow, it's very ambient in here today. Okay. To each their own. We say that at least 18 times per week on this show. But there's a trend in safe words. Okay. Would you like to take a stab? It's at what that might be.
Democrat or Republican?
Well, you're not terribly far off. Fruit. It's fruits. Banana is right now the leading safe word. Yeah.
Because they figured there's really no way that banana would happen naturally in a way that in any occasion that you would need a safe word for.
I guess. And pineapple was up there too. But pineapple gave way to banana. But what cracks me up about the political thing, see what you're suggesting that could kill the boner, see? Mm-hmm. So, or the mood. So, the other one, which kind of cracks me up, is Justin Bieber and Michael Jackson. Remember we talked about a guy that had the Justin Bieber poster, so he looked at that when he was trying not to come too fast? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, needed something to...
Yep. Michael Jackson, I'm not really sure about that. But Donald Trump used to be on the list, but apparently I think that was killing the mood, so they changed it. So there you go.
Oh my God.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Pineapple? Sorry.
Do you?
Well, that wouldn't work if you were actually, God, I think it was like during our first year of the podcast, Megan found something about like sticking pineapple on a penis and then giving it a blowjob or doing something like that.
Yes, she did. There was a grapefruit version too.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I just went, they just... no, I don't. Now I'm just having this whole flashback to that episode. I'm gonna have to find that. Maybe
we're gonna have to figure out which one.
Maybe
that
post it again.
That was early.
I can see maybe pineapple. I think might kill the mood too. Now that I've got that story in my brain.
Right on.
Yeah. Oh, darn.
So this cracks me up. Have you ever heard of a coregasm?
Core. So what you're doing, like planks and having sex at the same time?
You could. But what this, no. Okay, so they had the National Survey of Sex Behavior, and this sexless orgasms for women were first mentioned back in 1953 in Alfred Kinsey. His books, the very famous book, encyclopedia, if you will, Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. Mm-hmm. At that point in time, now this is the 50s, 5% of women he spoke to said that they had experienced an orgasm without sex based, something during exercise. Mm-hmm. Now, 2012, they did a study of 530 women online and found that 246 said, yeah, I've had a coregasm. And they link it to different types of exercise. Plank is not mentioned, but I'm not going to say that it's not possible because everything seems to go. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they'll just figure out a different way of doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting, the coregasm. Mm-hmm. And it's possible. Okay, this was interesting. Have you watched much of the Winter Olympics?
I have zippo interest in it. Now, mind you, I'm fascinated over the fact that a team consisting of 4 Minnesotans and 1 Wisconsinite won gold medals in curling. Yeah. I mean, they look like they should be winning a meat raffle.
Well, they probably
do that too. And then my niece played hockey, so she knows some of the folks that now have gold medals. Yep. And so I'm very excited about that. So it's like 1 degree of separation from a gold medal.
That's neat.
So that was sort of awesome, a little geeky. But what I realized, and I don't know about you, but it's like watching, I don't watch car races because I don't want to see someone get killed.
Yeah.
And these are dangerous sports.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the skiing stuff is crazy.
And even the skating and the stuff they do when they're flipping people around. I mean, yeah. I'm actually nervous. I don't know. When I see someone stumble, I flinch. So I flinch.
Oh my God, Colleen.
I do this. I don't know if anyone else does this, but when I see, I'll flinch when I see this. And so I've never really been a winter sports person. I've taken up cross country skiing, but until a week ago we didn't have enough snow. So and now I've blown out my knee when I fell on it. So that takes care of that. But I'm just but I just can't watch. Yeah. It's too scary for me.
Can you watch curling?
Well, I was eating in a Mexican restaurant and they had curling on. So I thought that was, having my enchiladas verde and enchiladas mole and then watching curling, I thought it was just very international.
Okay, because I was going to say, there's not much, there's suspense, but there's no violence in curling.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, unless you drop that big freaking rock on your toe.
I suppose if you drink too much, you could fling it.
Even the dog disagreed with that one. Mm-hmm. Well, this story, there's a gal named Nilo Imai. Okay. She competed for Japan back in 2006 in snowboarding, mm-hmm. and she just really completely bombed. So she went into porn. And she was doing great and, having a great career and all of that. But then she, this past year, decided she'd enter the All Japan Snowboarding Championships again. She won. She took gold there. And she now wants to maybe go back to the Winter Olympics in 4 years from now. So now she's thinking of trading porn back for training. So, how very diverse of her.
Maybe she's more limber now that she does the porn. And I see some of the snowboarding. You can't, it flips across your social media. You got the news on or something. And it just seems terrifying. But then again, porn's probably terrifying too. If you're perched on something, you've seen some of the angles these men and women are in. Oh, yeah. That does not look, and they're in heels. Yeah. Sometimes, not all the times, but still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So good for her. Do you want to, I know you've got one story and you're cracking me up because I have it too. Okay. So why don't we hit this one because this is just too good.
So once again, thank you to my friend Christopher who finds things and puts them on my Facebook page. And I may have run across this before too, but there's a company that is developing a vibrator that when you were done with the vibrator, done with the whole sex part of using the vibrator, it's going to have an Amazon dash button on it so that you can order pizza.
Yeah.
And I of course just went, I'm pretty much, I mean, I'm thinking, does everyone want pizza? What if you want pancakes or Chinese food? And then I read longer into the article, and then they're talking about having more options. And I'm like, okay, now I can get on board with this. Takeout. But a sex toy, it's a what is it? It's an adult entertainment company called Cam Soda is announcing a new sex toy called Rub Grub. I'm not sure I go with the name here, but that's okay.
No, the name's a little... They're trying to make sure you understand what it is. Yeah.
A vibrator attachment that can also order food for you. It's a Wi-Fi connection button, like the dash button, that can fit on a vibrator and will automatically order a large Domino's cheese pizza whenever it's pressed. And then the article goes in and it gets sort of cheeky about masturbation, while ultimately enjoyable, can be strenuous physical activity during which, blah, 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 you might want some pizza when you're done, paraphrasing. And I just giggled. Because I'm like, right now it's just pizza and it's just Domino's pizza. Which, oh my God, I ate so much Domino's pizza when I was a kid. I can't even eat it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, but it makes sense but you still have to get out of bed. So that's the problem. Another thing I thought, it's like, you get hungry after sex.
That's the only problem you see with this, Colleen?
No, you get hungry after sex. That's nice. But, and you can order a pizza. So that step is right there. You've got the pizza, but then you actually have to get up and go get the pizza.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, this could make the whole genre of delivery person porn more interesting.
It could.
The pizza delivery, but I giggled over that.
Oh, it's funny, but I have so many questions. First of all, we've talked about these vibrators with wireless, or sex toys in general, because they're not all, that have wireless connections, and that's so partners can use them remotely. Whatever, we talked about them getting hacked. We've had stories about this. Now I'm thinking, what if your dildo starts to develop its own AI and it starts to go nuts with a credit card? We've heard of foibles with Alexa.
That's right, because you're going to have to you're right, you're going to have to program it all in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't carry a credit card right next to my bed.
No. So there it is. And what if your dildo starts ordering other things?
Oh.
Goes on a shopping spree.
You know what? More
than one way to screw you.
It needs a lube button. I mean, really, if you're going to be talking about things that your vibrator is ordering,
it should be ordering the lube.
I'm thinking lube.
Yeah.
Because it would know what sort of lube is best for it. And then you could program it. It'd be great.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know. It's a little too scary for me.
I think there's just some things I think I need Domino's Pizza to know. There's that too.
Oh,
because they're gonna know. I mean,
where that order came from.
Because you can look at all this stuff. I mean, I can see who goes to my website and is ordering, is working on a laptop or a mobile device, or what browser they're using. So this would be the vibrator browser.
Oh my God! I didn't even think of that part.
I just popped in. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think so. Plus, cheese pizza is boring.
No. Sausage, mushroom, and black olive.
Oh, see, I'm a green olive girl.
Oh, sorry. Now I want to. See, I can't eat pizza anymore. This is going to make me all sad. Okay. See, there's another thing. What if you're lactose intolerant? I mean, you got what you need is a Chinese button.
I wonder how the Chinese feel about that.
Yeah. No, but think about it. Would the one vibrator, go to Domino's, and another vibrator go to Lian Shin, and another vibrator go to Taco Bell? Because you could,
Oh yeah, dude, I'm on it. Now, did you have another one?
This was a little more serious one, and it was on February 11th. But then again, with me having the flu and all like that, and it was an article in the Star Tribune, and I think we already linked it, about sexual health being part of the menopause discussion. Oh. The fact that there are still people that won't talk about menopause, much less talk about what happens during your body during menopause. And what can happen is that you can be a lot less lubricated, even though your mind might say, I want to do it, but the body isn't doing it. So you're going to need more lube, and you can buy, benzoyl moisture beads and stuff like that at CVS, Walgreens, Target, stuff like that. But tissues, your vaginal tissues can get thinner. It can be painful. I mean, because you're still, think about it. You can't get pregnant anymore. This would be awesome. And then your body does a little whammy on you and doesn't make you all, so it's not fair. But you can talk to your doctor about this. There's a great article. There was a Carolyn Kuhl. She's an expert on menopause. She's from the Mayo Clinic. They really think that you've got to talk about not just that I'm having night sweats, not just that I'm having a hard time sleeping, anything like that, but to bring up the fact that there might, if something's going on sexually, what else should I be looking for? Mm-hmm. And it's a wonderful article. I put it on there, and they ask about like sex drive, and your hormones change. You can have more or less, and it's absolutely, completely, and utterly normal for things to just be different. Yeah. It's not wrong, just different. A lot of people think something's wrong with them. There is nothing wrong with you whatsoever. And so it was on, like I said, February 11th, Star Tribune. The article's author was Sharon Jackson, and the expert that she talks to is Carolyn Kuhl. And it was just a wonderful article on sexual health and menopause. Okay. And I just wanted to make sure people saw that. It's like I said, it's just the fact that there's, people still have sex.
Yeah, no, and well they should. As well they should. Okay, speaking of sex, penis pics or, dick pics, whatever you want to call them. Survey of women, and 46% of females aged 18 to 36 say that they have had received a dick pic. But 22% of men in the same age bracket admitted sending the shots, known as pelfies. I did not know they were known as pelfies.
No, I saw that and I went, huh? I didn't know.
And only 5% admitted to sending them without being asked. But here's the thing. 9 of 10 of these 46% of women said they did not ask. So I'm sitting here going, the numbers are not adding up.
Yeah, the math is
one guy sending everybody's the penis pics? They can't be just one guy.
Not that I'm soliciting dick pics, but I have never received a dick pic. Now, mind you, I see a lot of penis because of my job. When I was researching stories and doing some stuff, even looking at, lingerie catalogs, if you have a guy wearing a mesh thong, there's penis.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that they'll airbrush out women's nipples and pubic hair and, but on some of the male catalogs, they do not airbrush out the penis.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know why? There's probably a sexist reason for that. Because normally, remember how they wouldn't used to show anything of a guy, and yet they'd show women's stuff? Now they're probably not airbrushing the penis. It's kind of probably along the same lines of why a lot of men don't want to neuter their male dogs. Because you don't touch the dick. You just do not mess with the penis. So stupid. Speaking of which, Steak and Blowjob Day. We've talked about this before, March 14th.
March 14th, yes. It's... We do some stuff for it, but it's never.
Really?
Yeah, we'll put out a few tweets, and we've had I think we had a special a couple years ago, but most people really don't know that much about it. Still, people have been trying to push this for years, but it hasn't really. I don't think it's hit that tipping point of everyone going insane yet.
And you know what cracks me up about this? People who call themselves, official promoters of this say, look, February 14th is just so capitalist. So March 14th is good old TLC, promoted for the fact that guys work so hard to satisfy their lovers that they deserve their own holiday. And I'm like, oh, if that's not some, pushing the limit PR, I don't know what is.
I'm pretty sure, almost everyone I know, but then again, I'm older too and stuff like that, is I saw, Valentine's was on a Wednesday this year, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. My sister-in-law, her book club still had their book club. Because it's Wednesday. So it was sort of an all-week sort of thing, and people did some stuff. I noticed that Target, we still had our stuff out. Target still, they usually clear out stuff immediately.
Yep.
They still have their displays out on the Sunday after.
Yeah, because people are still
They were still doing that was going through there. But it seemed to, I saw just as many of my men friends going, hey, look what I got, or this is what we're doing together, that I saw, and the few women that I saw that did get flowers, their husbands do travel. I mean, they send, they normally wouldn't, but since they're out of town, and it just seemed very mutual. But then again, in my 50s, a lot of friends with long-term relationships. And so, they take care of each other.
Yeah.
I definitely think that if you were starting out in a relationship, you got to sit down and talk about what your expectations are for that day. Actually, for any day, for your birthday, for the 4th of July, do you have something that you always do? You always go to a friend's house for a party and you just assume that someone's going to come, or you're going to separate? Holidays fraught with relationship peril.
Oh, God. They're a minefield. Mm-hmm. They're a veritable minefield. They really are. Mm-hmm. March 14th, Steak and Blowjob Day. Mm-hmm. By the way, the official site, quote unquote, and I put that into, quote marks because what's to say, but you get tips for cooking the perfect steak and giving the perfect blowjob. So should you be interested, just Google it and I'm sure you'll find it. Okay.
I like steak.
I do too. Mm-hmm. Vagina wigs. Did you read this about New York Fashion Week?
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is that I love the fact that I'm like, Merkins? Merkins have been around for centuries. But this was one of the most amazing fashion shows I saw because, of course, you've got these models with these elaborate hairdos, elaborate jackets, and all they're wearing is like a Merkin, a pasty. Mm-hmm. On the front, the pictures were spectacular. They were well done. Some of them had little mohawks.
Yeah.
And you're flipping through these pictures. If you haven't seen it, it's on our site, or you can Google vagina wigs or like that. But I was like, the modern Merkin was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I'm just... and I'm reading because you want to get like the point of view of the designer. And I kept reading this article and reading. I said... I'm so confused. I was entertained, but I couldn't come up with any particular valid reason for doing this at all. But the little mohawk ones cracked me up.
Oh, they're funny. Well, let me just give you a couple of other details to the story.
Oh, okay.
The original, the origin, so to speak, of the Merkin dates back to the 1600s, and prostitutes back then used to shave their vaginas for health reasons.
Oh, yeah.
So
get rid of lice.
Yep. Then they put a wig on. This was the person that pushed this out is a Korean designer, Kaya Min. And they basically, the whole thing, and some of them had like really sheer dresses on and things like that. But, this was basically naked with vagina wigs. But anyway, allegedly the show was to promote pride in your body and your sexuality. So you're supposed to be proud of yourself, but yet you're putting on fake hair. And of all places, your hoo-ha.
And then some of these, actually, some of the Merkins, so that's the proper word for it, actually looked larger than some bikinis I've seen women wear, depending on where you are.
Yes,
because it was a fairly large triangle area. They had it covered up, but they didn't show any rear view, so I'm not sure whether or not it came around. The fabric that they had glued on. And because there's no side pieces, they were all just glued, some sort of triangle wedgie thing. And I'm just like, I wonder how, you're a model and you show up to do a show, you get hired. And, they're just walking hangers, but there needed to be some sort of award for the person who could do the most bored model face while wearing one of these Merkins, because I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, go to the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page and look for the link, because it is quite entertaining.
Meg and I were both so entertained that we both posted it without realizing it.
Awesome.
So you can't miss it.
Perfect. This one grosses me out to the extent that I can't even describe.
What?
Well, because it freaks you out, because it makes you think about how many Facebook friends you have, and you'll want to unknow this. So they did a poll. There's a site out there called it's a Porn for Geeks. It's a site called Sugar Cookie. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, right there, Porn for Geeks. We'll just
there's all sorts of geeks. Okay,
reserve your judgment. But they asked 2,000 people about social media habits. Mm-hmm. Over 40% of men admit to masturbating while scrolling through coworkers' Instagram or Facebook pictures?
I mean, there are some people who jerk off to the Aunt Jemima bottle. I would certainly...
That's impersonal. If Aunt Jemima was real, I'm relatively certain she's deceased.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose you do want to check on your security. Who do you just have people that you sort of know from your work on your Facebook? But then again, I've never been one to, I mean, I know probably personally our friends with are very good acquaintances with like 95% of my Facebook friends. Mm-hmm. The other 5% are folks that when I was advertising on a radio station years ago, and one of the hosts there had sort of a group, and then we met people, and then they had their own social media before everybody jumped to Facebook. I kept maybe 8-10 of those folks because we all have mutant sense of humors, and it's just a few of us. And then there's like a friend of a really good friend that lives in New York, and once again we find that we were just commenting similarly on things, and so we did that. But like I said, I don't have vast amounts of people that I don't know close enough. And honestly, I mean, someone jerks off, what do I care?
I know, but it just kind of makes me wonder. So listen to this, though. I thought this was interesting. When it came to men, 58% of British men versus 68% or 61% of American men openly admit to cyber stalking work colleagues. Just saying. Okay.
Well, maybe it's a way to figure out if someone says they were working all weekend and you see that they're over at the Mystic Lake at the Rick Springfield concert this weekend, then you know that they're lying.
I don't think that's exactly the context, but okay. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Colleen, you're so funny. You always try to find the best. So this is funny. We've heard about sex doll brothels popping up. We've talked about it in Amsterdam and a couple other places. Well, this enterprising Scot decided, 25-year-old dude, went out and bought his sex doll. He paid about $2,500, so it's not one of the most primo.
No.
But it's not a cheap one either. No. But $84 an hour he was renting her out for. But he finally had to shut her down because it was just bothering his neighbors. What do you think?
I'm thinking that if you have a $2,400, probably pound or whatever, love doll, that even if it was too noisy and bothering the neighbors, at one point, the cleaning of it was going to was going to destroy. I mean, there is a lot of toy cleaners, but you just can't. That much wear is going to have a problem on a toy. The 6,000 to 12,000 or more custom dolls, they're made out of higher quality materials. They're going to be a lot easier to clean.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
$84, huh?
Yeah. And it was $2,500 US.
$2,500.
It was
so 10, 840. So, after the first 30 people, he made his money back.
Mm-hmm. But at what wear and tear cost, and how do you depreciate that on your taxes? I mean, so many questions.
I'm assuming, yeah. I mean, I don't know how that works, but I'm assuming that, the toy cleaning, stuff would be, right off. Mm-hmm.
So you know how Europeans love their football, which we know it here in the United States as soccer, football. Mm-hmm. Okay, this could be the best fan on the planet.
Okay.
A gal named Amanda Fox, a.k.a. the Polish Venus, is so upset about the bankruptcy or the inability of the Vicenza football team in Italy to be, they can't pay their players, and the players have gone unpaid for 4 months. So she is going to donate 10% of all of her profits to help the players get paid. God bless her.
What does she do?
Well, she's got a calendar, and she also is a porn star. So she wants to dedicate her earnings 10% to help pay the football players.
You're right. That is a fan.
That's a pretty good fan.
Excellent fan. Mm-hmm.
I like it. So
porn GoFundMe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's even better. And quite honestly, in Europe, they might do it because that's pretty cool. So a woman, Samantha X, she's kind of a famous escort. She's 43, and she retired. But she did have she just recently gave an interview and talked about a lot of people. There was all this speculation that she was going to be coming back because she had quite an online presence and things like this. And I guess not. But she did say there's a few things that she does miss about being an escort. Okay. One, freedom and flexibility outside of having to sit in a cube or work a normal job. Well, yes, that's true. Can't argue with that.
Family business has its own issues, right? All that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My business has its own issues. But when I hear my friends talk about when they're working in large corporations, I would go insane.
Oh, yeah.
I would go completely and utterly insane.
Yes.
I want things the way that I want them, and I can't stand groupthink. I would go insane.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
2, she misses all the friends she made. She said,
well, they're not friends then if you paid for them.
She meets other escorts.
Oh, okay. Well,
and getting together to swap war stories.
She can still do that.
Yep. And she still mentors women in the industry, which I would love to know what the hell that means. But what she recently went on a rampage against critics who said that her line of work makes you an unfit or a bad parent. And she said, that's crap. She said abusing or killing children makes you a bad mother, not providing from them. So good for her. But the famous Samantha X is not coming back into the fold anytime soon. So you remember Jared Fogle, the Subway pitchman that's now in jail for really disgusting things? Mm-hmm. He's doing 15 years. I met this guy once. At the very, very, when his whole crazy career was pretty much just at the very beginning. He came to one of the radio stations, and he was on all of our morning shows for like 5 minutes. And so when I saw this, I was really freaked out, because he seemed like such a ordinary nerd, but no. But what he's trying to do now is he's trying to use the Larry Nassar case to argue for his sentence to be reduced. He's trying to withdraw his guilty plea. He said he was pressured into it. And he wants to go back and try to get a different...
Wait a minute. The U.S. gymnastics things... But he got like tons of time.
The rest of his life.
The rest of his life. I don't understand.
But...
okay.
He's comparing it to charges. So Fogle says, well, I was charged with traveling for the purpose of engaging in illicit sex, but Nassar wasn't charged. So if Nassar wasn't charged, then my case must be bullshit because this guy did all this horrible stuff. So see, I'm like, okay. They stopped charging after they knew he was never going to get out of jail, doorknob.
There's no reason to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, nice try, but ew. Oh, and he had previously tried to argue that the judge was biased because she has daughters. I'm sorry. I'm biased because I'm a person. And that's disgusting.
That's... do you suppose he's in...
solitary?
Solitary? There's no way that this guy could be in the general population.
I wouldn't think so.
Because, I mean, even the nastiest people in prison, isn't the stereotype? Yeah, they don't like them. They just, Which is such an interesting commentary on that whole prison culture thing, because there's people in there that have done really, really awful, brutal things. Mm-hmm. And if they have a code of ethics, it's like, okay, couldn't you have just expanded it? Yes.
Can we work with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I
know. So this is really kind of interesting, and I'm confused by it, so I'm gonna confuse myself while I'm trying to explain it. Okay. So there's transgender woman Ann Variato, and she's been a jiu-jitsu fighter. But she was very successful as a man. Now she's a woman, and she wants to go into MMA. Bored with the jiu-jitsu, needs something more interesting. I get that. God, I'm really good at being lethal and winning shit. So let's try this other thing that's harder. And it's 21. She's 21. She's going to be cage fighting a guy. And she says, I'm too good. I believe that even though I've made this transition, that I should still fight men. So now this brings in this whole...
Well, it depends on maybe you're going through there, but I do know that people do change with hormone treatment.
And the quote from her is, if I beat men my entire career, I can still beat them despite the hormone process.
Yeah, okay.
So he's like, or she's like, I think I should only be fighting men. So the promoter of the whole thing said, well, I can give you an opportunity. Here, men fight men. It doesn't matter if you currently have a penis. If you were born a man, then in my league, you will fight a man. So I don't know what this does to the whole, argument in the way that these people are trying to do things.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
It doesn't. What's not confusing to me is that we know biology-wise, the body develops its external and internal sex organs before the brain develops how it's going to think. So that's been proven. Whether people want to believe it or not, I can't help them there.
Yeah.
But maybe there just needs to be some sort of skills test, and then you just fight whoever.
Well, because
don't you think? For whatever sport it is.
I think, yeah. And I do not want to offend the trans community here, but I do think that even some people that have been through hormone therapy are still more powerful, and I do still think, I think it's weird, to allow trans people, a guy that's transitioned into a woman, to compete in women's sports, because I do think that there could still be an advantage there, because men are just, stronger, and they started out, who knows what the residual is, and have we studied it? So when it comes to sports, I think it could be, I don't know, because this is, they break them up that way because of the...
Yeah, I'm confused because there are some... honestly, when it comes to fighting, most of it's by weight and skill level. So it really wouldn't make any difference.
Yes,
you got your upper body. If someone wants to go in and possibly get their brains beat out, who's to say no? In that particular sport.
I just believe that you can take a 120-pound woman and a 120-pound man, and the 120-pound man is still going to be more powerful because of the physiology. And I've heard that
for the most, probably for the most part. But I've seen some pretty tough women, and I've seen some pretty little dudes. Well, but then again, the little people probably aren't going into MMA, which also, once again, I don't understand the concept. How this is even something
again, it's not slamming what anybody wants to be or anything else. But when you go into these things where physiology does play a role in how they're set up, it gets confusing. And I just think that, I don't know, I think that maybe they should study it. Mm-hmm. But in this case, everybody agrees, so they're all fine. So and it was the fighter's wish. So, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to deal with that going forward, because it could get more complicated as time goes on. This last one is, I don't know, behaving badly in other countries is just not.
Yeah, it's just along the lines of no more weddings in churches because people have done dumb things, or you can't get married in this park, or you can't go here because someone decided to go streaking through it.
Greece was upset about behavior in some of their more sacred locations, and now the Philippines is pissed because this guy named Liam Cox has organized the Drunken Carabao tour, and Carabao are sacred in the Philippines.
No.
We've got a naked man. Actually, we have a couple having sex on a carabao. And then we've got, all sorts of different nudity pictures and whatnot. There's a case filed against him there. And they said you are insulting the culture
Throw
and
whatever book you
of
want.
our country.
Yeah. Really, if you're going to be naked in a country, you got to do like the guy did for the Olympics that went streaking wearing a tutu and a monkey sock on his penis.
Awesome.
See, that had nothing to do with anyone's cultural, and this guy, from what I read, I think it's on the site too, actually went streaking a lot of different places. He's known for it. But I thought that the monkey sock was an extra thing. But you do not go having sex on someone's sacred spots. You do not go down to Mexico and do it on Chichen Itza. You do not wander over in Scotland and do it on Balmoral Castle, and you don't go to Stonehenge and near it probably, but not on the Stonehenge. You know what I mean? You don't.
What about near a carabao?
Yeah, the thing is that there are folks that. Some moron just went and broke a finger off of a took a picture with. I don't know how they got so close to one of those terracotta Chinese warriors. Broke off a thumb. reached over. No touch. It's like if you're going to leave, I don't care what country you're from. If you're going to leave your country, I think maybe you need a quiz. Oh, I will not be an ass.
Yeah. What a great idea for a guidebook. Shit you shouldn't do in XYZ country. And each country should have a thing listing, hey, by the way, don't fuck with the buffalo or, whatever.
Yeah, don't go to Yellowstone and put a buffalo in your car. Don't go to China and break off a thumb. Don't go to the Philippines and screw on a sacred site.
I'm just saying, some people, the common sense, what's the big saying? Not so common.
No. The only place you're allowed to be a moron, because they advertise it, as far as I know, is Las Vegas. All
bets are on in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a marriage license now in the airport.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was reading that. So you don't even have to wait. You can like get off the plane. I mean, maybe you met someone on the plane. I don't know. And then you can go get a license, and then you could go to the local Taco Bell, get married, and have it catered.
At Taco Bell?
At Taco Bell in Vegas.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah. I am probably not ever going to be walking down the aisle. Really? Okay. But and I at this point in my life, it would be one hell of a party, but not like a ceremony thing. But even then, Taco Bell would not. No, there would also not be like Valentine's at White Castle. I mean, I get it, but no. The point is to do something. It's sort of a big deal if you're getting married, and Taco Bell is not a big deal.
No, not so much. But maybe you really love Taco Bell. I don't know.
I don't. Maybe if you. I don't know.
To each his or her own.
I guess so.
Yeah. No, I mean, just disrespecting something sacred in another country, I don't care what it is or whether or not you agree with them, it's just not cool. So stop it. Mm-hmm. So we will be back on a regular, this is our makeup show. We'll be back on a regular date later on this week. Anything else? Did you guys all survive Valentine's around here?
Yeah, pretty much. We're in the part of the year where we look at what's still in the stores after Christmas and Valentine's, and we reevaluate. Did this do well? Did this not do well? We move things around. We forget that we do inventories. That's happening right now. We're sorting through the warehouse. It's early spring cleaning for us.
Oh, okay.
I was going through there. We're going to be getting ready to be part of the swinger convention at the end of March, and we've got to coordinate to hopefully get that gal in here and talk about it.
Yep.
And it just, it's organized. And then it's also just been where the hell do you put all the snow? So honestly, that's sort of the other day the snowplow guy left the snow in the truck dock.
Oh.
I had to, just a little thing.
Was that a cranky phone call?
We took a picture of it. I texted it. I said, "Can you come move this?" And I got a call back or a text back to just went, "Ugh, I'll be right over."
That's funny. Well, the next really, besides the swingers convention, Pride is when you guys. It's not too long before you guys have to start figuring.
No, I got to register for that. They did it earlier, and I keep forgetting. Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
And I won't be there again this year. It's because my daughter has 2 more years of high school. She's and then we do a road trip, and so it's just the way that school gets out so late that. It's just the way that it's working out, but
and you won't be doing that forever.
No,
okay.
I gotta do that, and but I'm looking forward to Pride. Some of the folks that we worked with before have one guy got a job in London, so he's there working for a company, and of course Eric and Michael have moved to Florida, so it's going to be a very different year. But I think we're still going to have
Eric and Michael,
we're still going to have a really, really good time. And like I said, we get through Valentine's, we do the cleanup, and then we sit down and we map things out.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So now it's kind of like biz plan time for you guys at Fantasy Gifts. Well, Colleen, good to see you, and I'll see you shortly.
See you in a couple of days.